Everything's coming up, so I thought I'd give a quick garden tour. So, this is kind of the front area of the garden. Those three in the back, those are watermelon, Art Combs Ancient Watermelon. I decided to intercrop them with my sunflower, sorghum, corn, etc. Um, in the back here, that is Autumn Glory sunflowers. In the front here it's a variety of teddy bear sunflowers, only they're supposed to be orange or something. But anyway, over here in the back is a Starburst mix of sunflowers. In the front here, that's just regular teddy bears from seeds that grew last year. Over here, these right here are, I believe they're called Japanokia corn. Yeah, they're like a regular corn, but they're from Japan, and they have very pretty pink and red and green leaves. They're a type of flint corn. Right here, that is a golden watermelon. All these little lettuce things I have, those are from what I grew earlier this spring. I'll eventually go into depth on all this stuff, like explain what it is. Here, I planted the teosinte. Still got all these solid greens. But, yep, here's the teosinte. I've also got some chives growing in here from seeds that grew last year. Yeah, apparently these things are super hard to get rid of once they're established. And over here, I plant squash. Got a rabbit. Those things love to eat my sunflower sprouts. I can't even see it anymore. Here. There he is. Menace. They're pretty cute though. So anyway, over here I have zucchini. It's an old heirloom kind of zucchini. Supposedly it has really high ridges on it. There's one cutting up. And apparently the flowers are also supposed to be huge and be pretty tasty. So now on this side, this whole section is sweet sorghum. Sweet sorghum is a type of sorghum that looks like corn, same height as corn, but before it goes to seed, you knock the stems down and cut it into pieces, press all the juice out of it, and you can actually make syrup out of it. Or you can even eat the stems like candy. They have so much sugar in them. These are from seeds that I grew last year. Saved a few. Sowed them pretty heavily. I did not intercrop any watermelons into them. Over here, This is a variety called bear paw corn. It's a type of corn that grows into a kind of pronged shape. It's really weird. I have some inside that I'll probably show in a future video. But yeah, I also have some more art combs intercropped with them. That's what all that is. Over here, this is all broomcorn. Broomcorn's a really pretty type of sorghum that I would say gets around 12 feet tall. The settlers actually used it they would use the heads to make brooms with, and that's how they get their name, broomcorn. Oh, in that empty plot over there, I just sprinkled and sowed some strawberry spinach seeds. Yeah, it's kind of late, so we'll see what happens with that. Over here, I really need to get that dug because I bought some Seneca Red corn seeds, and I want to see if I can crossbreed it with one of my corn, one of the corns I'm already growing. Over here, these are art combs, and these are the massive Mongolian giant sunflowers. These things get absolutely huge, and I'm not kidding when I say they probably get around maybe 14, 15 feet tall. Absolutely huge. I actually have some stems and flower heads that I saved from last year. Yeah, they're huge. The rabbits also really love to eat these little heads. Yeah, that's kind of a little disappointing, but that's whatever. Yeah, some of them didn't come up in this little corner, so I just replanted them not too long ago. So yeah, they're gonna be a little bit behind, but that's fine. Now over in this section, this is basically tarp with a bunch of holes in it, with watermelon growing out of them. This is the Royal Golden Watermelon. Royal Golden Watermelons are a type of heirloom that it looks like a pumpkin when it's completely ripened. It's very, very strange, and I wanted to see what it looked like. Over here, this is horseradish that comes back no matter how many times you mow over it. I've dug the roots up so many times, and yeah, horseradish is no joke. Of course, people grow it and they dig the root up to make horseradish sauce, and then it just keeps coming back, and it's extremely prolific. But so of course all of them didn't come up, but the tarp is pretty much just to help it trap moisture and keep weeds down, of course, and it also has the added benefit of keeping the melons off the ground. Oh, that one's dying. Oh well. But yeah, it keeps the melons off the ground and reduces the chance of them rotting and getting all gross. So over here, I intercropped sweet corn and honeydew. You actually see where I put the honeydew and the sweet corn. It didn't, a lot of it didn't come up, but that's something to be somewhat expected because the seed I was given was very old, and yeah, I'd be surprised if it all came up because it was a lot of seed. So over here I have jade beans. They're just a type of bush bean. Probably gonna have jade beans up to my ears, because as you can see, I planted a lot. Over here, these are actually a type of pole bean called, well, they don't really have an official name. I know they're the same beans that were actually grown by the Aztecs, believe it or not. So down here, I don't really have a lot of information about what these are. They're a type of bean, and they're called spiky or prickly caterpillar beans. And I just know they're a type of bean, and that's pretty much all I know about them. The website I went to didn't have much information on them. They sprout from really tiny seeds. So we'll see what the pods look pretty interesting. They look like they really do almost look like a type of prickly caterpillar. So yeah, this is pretty standard trellis you would use for one of these. Also, over here, these are kiwanos, which with a ton of weeds dispersed between them. Oh, well, that's sad. Yeah, I actually seed started one, and it had already climbed up here. I guess something ate it, or it just got too hot and died. It's been pretty hot, but that's sad. That's pretty disheartening, but you know, it was the only one of 3 that actually survived, because I guess they're really hard to seed start. But anyway, I have a whole bunch of seedlings of them. These are actually 2 types of kiwanos, also known as African horned melons, or jelly melon. They're also called. They're from Africa. You can eat them. It's just like a big spiky cucumber, and the ones on this side are actually called rund kiwanos, which basically means they're like a ball shape. Regular kiwanos, they're more of like an oval shape, which I have more on that side. And I always put these skewers in the ground by my seedlings, so I know where I put what's what and what isn't a weed. And this is basically just 2 cylinders of wire with chopped down maple tree. I wouldn't necessarily call them saplings, but yeah, then I drape this netting over it, and it works perfect. Over here, these are the art comb watermelons that I actually seed started. Yeah, they're doing pretty good actually. There was a little bit of period of time when they didn't look so good, but yeah, they're taking off right now. This one, though, I don't know what's going on with this stem, but it's just completely split. That one's days are numbered. But anyway, here's the biggest one. I'm probably gonna have some watermelons before I have to go to college. So, these are those purple sweet potatoes. Also, I'm growing them in potting soil with fabric pots. If you put them in fabric pots, the roots will actually stop because they can actually sense the air through the pot, and it's called air pruning. And then that way, the watermelon won't just send roots around and around and around and around. So, these are Peter peppers, and they are called that because the peppers look like Peters. Yep, they look like male genitalia, which I thought was pretty funny, so I bought some. Threw them in pots. They've been doing good ever since. Over here is probably the crown jewels of everything I'm growing. This is a hybrid between the bear paw and the glass gem corn. So it's going to be a really bright, colorful dent corn, but it's also going to have that really weird split in it. So some also, like, they'll split into, like, where the tassel comes out, it will actually split into 2, 3, even 4 ears, and hence the name bear paw, because it looks like it's got toes on it or something. Pretty interesting. And so last year, these are not a glass gem corn mixed with a bear paw. They are the actual pollinated bear paw cobs with glass gem corn pollen. So very cool. I will have to show a picture of what those actually look like before they're planted, because of course they look different because they have the cob already there, and then the color just comes from the pollen. So very, very interesting, and one of my favorite things I've done. Over here is a weedy mess. I mean, it's not that bad, but it could be better. This is my experiment with 3 sisters. They are mounds with glass gem corn growing out of them. Very tall already, as you can see. I've been told that general rule of thumb is knee high by the 4th of July. That was actually my girlfriend's dad who told me that. So when these first came up, I kind of thought they were really, like, there wasn't much like for this one, so I planted more, and they're starting to come up. You can see right there. So yeah, pretty soon I should actually plant the beans next to them right now. But yeah, there's some more, but it's mostly like house plants and stuff. I have a passion flower that's in a pot. I also planted sunflowers right by my beds, because some people actually say there are 4 sisters, and sunflowers are the 4th sister because they attract pollinators. So that way squash can get pollinated. Pollination isn't a huge issue for corn or beans, because corn is wind pollinated. So if the only real issue there is if you don't have enough of it in one area, the pollen won't get evenly distributed throughout, and so you'll just have an empty cob with a couple kernels on it. So I'm not going to be hand pollinating this. This is hopefully enough for it all to get well pollinated. Same with the sweet corn. So, yep, that's just about it. Very proud of my garden. Bye.